Hey, everybody. Da-da-da-da-da-da-da. Hey, everybody, this is Marcel with Irnieracing News. Here we have an independent book publisher, Mrs. Suzanne Pavon, out of Berlin. So it's an update on the farmers' protests in Berlin. The German people have been pretty quiet on the world stage since the Nord Stream pipelines were destroyed. The German government, I should say, is complicit. They seem to not care that their citizens have no access to quality heating gas to heat their homes. But now they are standing up. The farmers are standing up once again. There was a farmer protest in the past, but now this one is catching on steam since yesterday, December 18th. Let's read the article. Just days after German leaders claimed to have resolved the country's budget crisis, cracks emerged in the three-party compromise as thousands of farmers took to the streets of Berlin on Monday to protest a plan to remove the key tax privileges. A convoy of 1,700 tractors blocked the main road leading to the Brandenburg Gate in central Berlin, where thousands of farmers demonstrated against the government proposal to end their tax breaks on fuel and agricultural vehicles. The government wants to introduce the tax increases, which the farmers say would cost the sector about 1 billion euros per year, to help plug a 17 billion euro hole in its 2024 budget. Quote, today we have sent a clear signal to the federal government. Withdraw the tax increases for agriculture, end quote. Joachim Rukwied, a farmer from Baden-Württemberg who serves as president of the German Farmers Association, told Politico at the demonstration, quote, enough is enough. It must be withdrawn. This policy must come to an end, otherwise a change of government is necessary, end quote. All right. So let's end on some comments here by Thomas Mitchell. EU needs all the WEFists infiltrators removed for national security issues, and also RICO to start for all they have helped EU citizens get ripped off. Look at the lame IMF who oversupplied money. They did it on purpose to tax and screw you with high interest rates, all planned. They are laughing at us all. They are laughing at the citizens of the EU. Anyone who wants farmers screwed based on the IPCC fraud, do they need to be stood down? Comment by Alexander Bog. And the tax increases are needed because, the government has so many bureaucrats and consultants living off of everyone else while spending far too much on things that haven't worked. And here is Russ M. I stand with the German farmers. Maybe they should stop producing and shipping their product to certain places like Berlin. Let the German politicians and their supporters experience life's consequences for a while. Farmers should join with truckers and rail workers too. Interesting on Brave, if you do a Berlin farmers protest search, there is a summary. On December 18th, 2023, German farmers protested at Brandenburg Gate in Berlin to denounce government plans to abolish agricultural diesel and vehicle tax exemptions. Organizers said a large number of farmers would drive tractors into the city for the protest, but it is unknown how many participants may attend. In January of 2023, thousands of farmers from across Germany converged in Berlin for an annual protest calling for more financial assistance and fairer taxes, marking the start of Berlin's International Green Week. In January 2023, farmers and green groups held a tractor protest in Berlin to demonstrate against industrial farming practices, worried about the impact of cheap meat on animals and workers and insects die off from pesticides. Now, in December of 2023, farmers from all over Germany descended on Berlin aboard tractors to protest against the planned reduction of diesel subsidies and agricultural machinery tax breaks. And here you have on dw.com, I've used this site before for news. This was on the 18th. German farmers are enraged at proposed diesel subsidy cuts and taxes directly affecting them. They say they could cost them up to €1 billion. The government says the cuts are needed. Yes, we read that already. And there's a photo. Flocked to Berlin. Here's a picture of Agriculture Minister Cem Özdemir, who spoke at Monday's protest, has said the government's proposed cuts overburden German farmers. It reads, farmers are now seeking to send a first clear signal to Berlin's three-party governing coalition that it needs to drop the planned cuts. It's interesting, there's a three-party coalition going on in Germany right now. Maybe you guys can comment about that in the comments section. The Farmers Association president, Rukwied, said, if not, there will be a massive resistance from January. We will not put up with this. Here's a story in Exper Liner from Monday's December 18th. Hundreds of tractors arrive in Berlin for the massive farmer protest. So for those that don't know much about the Nord Stream pipeline that was blown up by NATO, just look at an article on this page here, the Quint. I quote from the article, the U.S. opposes the deal between Russia and Germany, saying it would make Europe heavily dependent on Russia for energy supplies, giving Russia geopolitical leverage. Well, that sums it up right there. The U.S. does not want the Nord Stream pipeline to give affordable gas to Germany and all of the nations around Germany. No, we want everybody to suffer. We don't want easy gas. We want them to have to buy it for expensive prices from everywhere else. And of course, if you search on the mainstream media is like USA propaganda, we got Forbes and the New York Times. Well, guess what they're pushing? The US thinks pro-Ukrainian group blew up the Nord Stream pipeline. Oh, yeah. Same with New York Times. Intelligence suggests pro-Ukrainian group sabotage the pipeline. Wow, that makes a lot of sense. Oh, here's an interesting one from Helsinki Times. The U.S. and Norway blew up the Nord Stream pipeline, says Seymour Hersh. Now, I have read the entire Seymour Hersh publication. Oh, it was this year in February, I guess it was. Yeah, oh, look, February 16th on the article. And he goes into all the details. So if you just read that, your common sense would be like, well, all the evidence points to exactly that. And Norway is complicit in helping with the whole system, where they were using the excuse to be in the Black Sea, was it? And because they were there for scheduled training activity. And anyways, they went down and set charges on it. And there's communication between the president and everybody talking about, well, we can't just have it blow up as soon as we leave. We need to set it on a timer. So they had to create a system. They detonate it with, they drop a buoy, a detonating buoy signal. So which could detonate it later. Makes it more difficult, of course. Not to mention one of the largest environmental attacks on planet Earth in the last decades, because the pipeline released 155,000 tons of methane into the atmosphere. This whole time, you got your Biden and your Trudeau's and your Root and everybody else on the WEF agenda flying their private planes to go talk about the problem of the pollution. They actually create one of the biggest disasters to our planet with blowing up the Nord Stream pipeline. At the same time, they're trying to push their things that don't work, like, oh, we just, all the cobalt for the electric car batteries, right? Anyways, guys, if you haven't read it, get on and read one of Seymour Hersh. He has his own thing on Substack. You can read the whole thing. This is Irnieracing News, guys. Canadian Journalist. Thanks for watching here on December, 20th right now? Sorry, it's December 19th, 2023.